No. Can you hear me? Wait, I cannot hear you. Please, I think you're still mute.
Hello, girls.
How are you doing?
Good. Just very busy. I'll leave the time for you guys a bit, so I mute my mic for now.
Hi, Jessica. I think we can wait for like 2 more minutes for other participants to come and we start. So, Nicholas, are you inviting some more people from OS out? Okay. Oh, okay. Great. Hi, good morning, Miss Yutai. Hi, okay, I think that we can start the meeting right now. Can you hear me clearly and can you also see the screen that I'm trying to share? Okay, great.
Yes, we can.
Yes. Uh, okay. So for our meeting today, we will talk first briefly about our program that we are joining, and then we talk a bit about ourselves, the learning journey that I think that we have applied throughout this program, and last but not least, we will talk about our strategic priorities and the project and the changes that we wish to see in the campus in the next semester, hopefully. So let's talk about the University Innovation Fellow Program. So this program, also called as UIF, is a program of Stanford University Design School, and the program equips students with tools like design thinking, prototyping, so that they can become change agent at their campus. And we are, like cooperating and exchanging ideas and using this tool to like mapping out the changes that we can do in our school. So I think the program has a really useful impact on us as students. But not only that, it also create like a community of like entrepreneurs or like like someone who wish to become an entrepreneurs and who wants to use innovative and creative factors to make positive change in the communities. It also helps us to gain creative confidence and an entrepreneurial mindset needed to address challenges and build better futures. So basically, that's a program, but I'm sure that you're very familiar with that already. So I will talk. about like who are we, what are our interests, what are our passions, and basically a bit about our background. So for me, I'm Chi Duong. I'm from Vietnam, and currently I'm year four student in the Bachelor of Visual Arts. I'm, as suggested by the degrees itself, I'm quite passionate about art and how art can bring positive change in one's mental well-being. And as for the last couple of years, I have worked with professor from the Department of Arts and also some service learning project in the way that art can be used to help people with mental illness or like people in the hospital to gain a better mental well-being. But not only that, I'm very curious and also passionate in working about cultural awareness and heritage preservations. Back when I was in Vietnam, I also worked with some project like to revive traditional art and how to use traditional art to feed the contemporary audience. So and my current interest is sustainability, things about permacultures and sustainable ecotourism. So that's my background. I'm gonna pass to Liz.
So hi, I'm Bliss. I'm currently a year 2 student majoring in global liberal arts. And the first time I experienced innovation and entrepreneurship was in Startup Weekend last year. And in my spare time, I enjoy traveling, making new friends, and exploring different cultures, jogging, reading, and having a good cup of coffee. And I'm really interested in inequality on campus, student engagement, interdisciplinary exposure, like from history to literature, business, entrepreneurship to political science, economics, and also social innovation.
So, good morning, everyone. I'm Samantha, and I'm a Year 3 BBA student, and I'm currently majoring in Human Resources Management. And for my hobbies, I like to read books, eating, and do some planning. And my personality in this team is relatively talkative, outgoing, and optimistic. And hopefully, I think I do bring some positive energy and some good ideas into team. So let's pass to him to talk about himself.
I'm Lauchi Him, and I'm a year three social science student who's majoring in political science. And my hobby is diving, language learning, reading, and cycling. My personality is outgoing and talkative. And in social innovation work, I would like to focus on conservation work and environmental protection. Yes.
I'm
You're
sorry, you're on
muted.
mute. Yeah.
Okay, so coming up next, we'll talk about a learning journey, like what is a key point that we take from this program, and what is a memorable thing that we have applied in this program. So first, I will talk about my experience of this program. So I think that the most important thing that I learned, which is quite new to me since art majors and not really related with business stuff, but actually design thinking is not all about business. It can literally apply to every daily life situations. So design thinking, I learned about when you create a product, it has to come from the need of the people, like the need of your customer. So basically, you create a need-based product. You need to assess and you need to know really what is the need of the people that you want to serve. Uh, and sometimes we make assumptions. Like a lot of time, I made assumptions about what they need, but that's actually not what they need. So you have to really like dig deep into that and just do a lot of like questionings and observations. You know, even when you have to do field work in order to know what do they actually need. Well, also related to that is that I have developed a prototyping mindset instead of a lot of the traditional way that I would do it is a lot like planning and then come to a final product, and then it failed, and then it just gone forever. Like it's um, not even be useful anymore. But when I develop a prototyping mindset, it's like a small major step that lead to like success. If the first prototype fail, then we learn something about that, and then we do the second prototype. So it's a continual prototyping process in order to reach a final product. And it just like practice made better. And like I guess the key thing I should say here is that make small minor step, like baby step, and also like practice more perfect. And yeah, this share.
So for me, there are definitely many different things that I have acquired throughout the journey, but there are some important things that I would like to point out. First of all, is to have learned to empathize. Just like Fan has mentioned, empathize is to really understand the actual needs of others, and it's not a stage in the design thinking process. It itself is a very different way or perspective to really look into different lives. And it really, I think personally, I think the most effective way is to communicate with people, to talk with others, to really understand their situation. And I've been more open-minded and more open to wild ideas. I captured as many ideas as I could. And this program really debunked the myth that I previously had of brainstorming, because in the past I thought that the ideas generated from the process of brainstorming need to be rational, need to be workable, need to be accessible. But in fact, you can see like through the uh, right upper image, we just there's a assignment that we need to ideate all possible solutions. So we are given like 5 minutes of time, and basically we just write down whatever it sparks in our minds. I think that's really a new experience for me. And the third one is the prototype mindset. And Sam has just mentioned, assumptions are just remain as assumptions without really testing it. So I began to ask myself, whenever I ideate an idea or doing a prototyping, keep asking myself and others, why would I have this kind of perspective? And I think that the prototyping process not only make ideas tangible, but it makes ideas more understandable and more acceptable to others as well. And the biggest achievement I have is that I have learned to express myself, because you can see the on the lower right photo is our orientation night. So that day I'm totally amazed, because I can have the opportunity to really engage with such a huge community out there, and I've got the chance to speak with people from different countries. That's amazing. Yeah. So let's welcome him to talk about his achievement.
Yes, for me, there are four things that I think I have learned from this program. The first one is how to combine team's idea, because as we both have our own ideas and own point of view, we often have some contradiction when we discuss about some project or incorporation. And I have learned how to combine different ideas into a greatest idea in this program. And also communication, because as we said, we have some conflict and contradiction when we're cooperating. So I need to learn how to communicate to our teammates, but do not let them emotional. Yeah. And also the design thinking skills. And I think it affected me a lot because it changed my thinking, like the way I think or solving problems. The most important to me, I think, in design thinking is think like substitute yourself into others to think what they need. And I think it's very useful for me in the in after this program, and also the time management, because this is a COVID, and I have many programs that we started suddenly in September and October, and I cannot manage my time at first, but I become better in time management after this program. So yes, I think it's very useful for me.
And about my learning journey, I would like to focus more on team dynamic. And I will use 3C to summarize, which is 3 words start from C. The first one is cooperation. Cooperation, because we have to work as a team to make the things work out, and as well as we have to compromise, because him also also mentioned that we may have some conflicts, and which is inevitable. So we have to give in and compromise in order to reach an consensus. And because we have the time zone problem with teammates as well as the tutor, because we are currently in different countries. So we have to talk and compromise and communicate with a best time slot that will work out for everyone. So the second C is compromise, and the third one should be communication, because effective communication in the team is very crucial. And the last one is also the same with him, which is well organized, is that the time management. We should be able to manage our time well and to submit our weekly assessment on time. And now I would like to be the first one to talk about the strategic priority, which is the project that I'm responsible for. So
First, we would want to say about the the changes in general the three of us want to see in Lina. The first one is inclusiveness between local and non-local students. It's my part. Gender split is gonna do about gender equalities, and Samantha is gonna do about like enhancing study atmosphere among students.
Okay, so start with my project. My project actually is a very academic related, and mostly it will dealing with some paperwork. And the theme of this project is to focus on design thinking skill. And we have received some feedback and response from different stakeholders that it may be better if we can use the artifacts to guide the participants to go through our project. And now I would like to share my screen and share my PowerPoint with you guys. So the activity is called Study Together, and the reason why I would like to have this activity is that I have observed some problems among the campus that I would like to solve. Is that the first one is that students tend to be shy to raise up questions and to speak up for their thoughts. And that is the reason why, this is also the factors why constitute as a poor learning atmosphere amongst the campus. And because students tend to be passive and they're shy to speak up for their mind, and they are relatively lazy to talk about study. So this is the reason why I want to have these activities. And the problem statement is that the first one is how might we let students to get familiar with design thinking? And the second one is how might we get students to express their point of views and ideas? And the third one is, in overall speaking, how might we enhance the study atmosphere? The exchange strategy is that we can hold some sharing section on design thinking, or some discussion session, or even some application workshop of design thinking. So I hope the student can use the design thinking skill that they learn in this activity to tackle some social issues. And about the expected outcome, after the activity, I expect student who is able to apply the design thinking skill will be increased, and students who are more willing to speak up for their ideas will also increase. And of course, overall, the learning atmosphere will also be improved. And what is studied together? My activity is that it's mainly consists of 4 parts, and I will go through it one by one later on. And what is this activity? Actually, it is a platform for students to have a taste of design thinkings. And this is a very good opportunity for students to explore with others, speaking of some of their thoughts on studies or even design thinking skill. And more importantly, this is also a very good channel for students to communicate and to interact with each other, because normally they are too shy and too passive to speak up. So the objective of this activity is to enable students to be more productive and self-motivated, and allow students to explore more details about design thinking skill, and also enable students to speak up and express their idea. Yes, and also to will be able to solve problem by using design thinking skill. So the activity will consist of 4 parts, and the first part is study, and the second part will be discussion, and the third part will be workshop, and the last part will be game, which is in a online format, online quiz. So I expect the student will gather in those common study area, so they can study quietly, or they can play some games, or even they can have the discussion, and also they can study the design thinking skill materials. And the features of the content will mainly about innovation and entrepreneurship, and as well as design thinking skill. And I expect the value will be in the library, in the common study area, and duration will be from 10 a.m. to 6:30, and each session will last for 2 hours. As you can see, I will expect students to study in some common study areas, or they can have some discussion, or even try to have the application workshop. So each session will around have 20 people, and 5 people will in a group to conduct the activities. So because since we have I have 3 teammates, and we have 4 people, so each of us can take care of one group. The reason why I want to keep the numbers per each session small is that I would like to I'm expected we can focus more on the participants and to cater their needs when it's necessary. And it is also important to guarantee the interaction qualities, because with the smaller numbers of participants, they are more likely to have effective communication. So I would like to give an example, which is, you can see the details, session 1 from 10 to 12, the capacity is 20 people, and then 5 of them were in a group. So for each session, there would be 4 groups. So in total, there would be 16 group of them out of all sections. And some remarks is that from 12 to 12:30 will be lunch break, and students can feel free to choose to opt for the time slot that fit them well. And yes, they do not have to join all the section, because for each section we will run the 4 part in one section. Yes, for each session, it will go through the 4 parts that I just mentioned. And for part 1 study, I expect will occupy for 30 minutes. And for part 2 discussion, which is to discuss some design thinking skill topic related topics, will also occupy for 30 minutes. And for the third part workshop, it's to apply the design thinking skill, and it will also include some case study for students to find out more. So I expect it will occupy for 35 minutes. And for the last part, which is I call it interaction, is to play the online games, and also include the prize presentation process. So it will take 25 minutes. So in total, there will be 2 hours. And for the part 1 study, as I mentioned, it will take 30 minutes. And I will mainly use the artifacts to guide the participants step by step, to tell them what is design thinking skill, and in order to provide them with a fundamental understanding about the design thinking skill. So about the part 2 discussion, we'll provide some example for the participants, so they can discuss the content and that we taught in the part 1. So students can work in a small group, and they can brainstorm and develop more good ideas with each other. And so for part 3, which is the application workshop part, it will take 35 minutes, is to provide students with some case study, so they can try to apply the knowledge that learned in part 1, which is mainly about some definition, and then they can develop more the content that we talk in part 2. And for part 3 is to offer participants with a comprehensive understanding of the design thinking skill. And for part 4, which is the interaction, is we will invite the participants to engage in the online games. And the question will mainly about, of course, design thinking skill, and maybe include some fun facts about it. And the reason why I want to give an online quiz is that it can be more interactive and for students to join, because it will be more interesting. And after that, a student can check the report about the quiz. They can know which question that they did wrong, and they can redo it again if they want to. So it is a ideal way. It's an ideal way for us to deliver and help the student to consolidate the knowledge that taught in the previous part. And students can, at the same time, they can have fun, but also they can learn some design thinking skill knowledge. And for the incentive, the first one is to hold a lucky draw, and we can draw 5 participants randomly out of all sections, and we can reward them with coupon. It can be supermarket coupon or maybe bookstore coupon. It depends. And for the second idea of the incentive is that the top 3 winners of the online quiz will win $1,000, or and the second runner-up winner will get no, first runner up will get 500 and the third one will get 300. And I'm talking about out of all section. So in total, there would be 3 winners. It can be coupon or cash, also depends on the situation. And the third incentive is that we can offer all the participants with free refreshment and drinks. So the participants can enjoy free food and drinks during the whole activities. So the whole vibe will be more relaxing and chill. They can enjoy the food as well as to learn design thinking skill and to communicate with each other. So about the budget, the first plan will take 1,000, will occupy for 1,000, and plan 2 will occupy for nearly 2,000. And for the third plan, that I take an example because it's have to be confirmed, not really sure, but if 50 Hong Kong dollars per head, so it will take 4,000 because the plan 3 is for all the participants, but plan 1 will only have 5 participants, and plan 2 will also have only 3 participants who can get the award. So it's come to my conclusion is that after my activities, I hope the student can be more innovative, productive, and self-motivated. This is very important, and hope they will be more talkative. They are willing to speak up for their ideas and their thoughts, and try to apply the knowledge that we taught them, and to use it, apply it to solve the problem by using design thinking skill to solve different problems, maybe social issue or some academic problem. So this is my part, study together. Yes, so let's pass to my teammate. Thank you.
Yes, and this is my project, which is a relaxing workshop, which focus on the mental health problem in mainland university. As we know that during the COVID-19, we are all getting upset and emotional in this period. And so I want to have a relaxing workshop for the students, or maybe they are online for them to relax. Yes. Then here's the content. We have an ice-breaking game at first and some information share. And also some introduction to meditation, yoga, and Santango, and maybe try some like workshop for them. And the next part, yes, in this workshop, we have maximum 10% each group. And this is because it's easier to discuss and make sure everyone gets something out of the section. And some survey will be conducted for the mental health problem, and we can learn more about how students think in this workshop. And group activities and individual activities are included, and I will talk it later. And the duration is 1.5 hours, and the venue is every classroom, because we have only 10% per section. So I think classroom will be okay. And the reason why for small group is because we can better focus, and both of us can care every one of them. Take care everyone of them. And the first part is the information share. And the subtitle is how mental health affect in daily life. And I know that people are not very familiar with mental health and how it affects in our daily life. So I will use some story of people who have struggled with their own mental health problem to help everyone understand what it can be like. And I believe that many of us do not want to talk about our own experience. So we use the story of other people to make us have a like an echo stuff. Yes. And also, I would, we will discuss the key insight as a group and consider how persons' work may affect their mental health from the group. And this is the group discussion part that we can communicate more and try to know more about how what other people think of mental health problem and make some positive thoughts about having mental health. Um, Maybe some bad emotion is okay because we are all humans. We just need to know how the way to relax and the way to deal with it. And also survey conducted by university, and we will show it in the information share part, and it is a reliable reference for the attendance. And some personal share if they want, or maybe we can, four of us can share some of our own experience to them too. And also the second part of information share is talking about mental health in person experience. As many people are not feeling good when they are talking about mental health in their own issue. And just like I said, we can try to be the first one to share in this workshop and try to motivate them to have further discussions. And also, we will discuss in group form, and each of us will in charge for each group in order to make sure everyone, no one feel ignored. Yes. We will discuss what is needed in dealing with mental health. It's also a learning. It's also a great opportunity for us to learn more about different people. What what is needed for different people because everyone has different necessary. Yes. So we can try to have. Well, we can try to have more in. We can have more insight in this part. And we will use some example of how communicate can affect people's mental health to remind people that the power of your speech, which will affect people a lot. Yes. And discuss the idea to raise awareness of mental health in mainland university. So coming next is the ice-breaking games. I'm going to ask them to write down and ask people how they feel that day, and ask people to write their name on the back of a post-it note and stick it next to the feeling that resonate with them that day, and have a discussion around how people are doing. Ask people to write a few words about their best day and worst day, and because it can like pulling out the feelings or stress or overwhelm and use it to be a status to discuss how people are feeling with stress at work and when they realize that, and we can move on to the relaxation part. And the first one is meditation, because I think that they're more common. Meditation become more common in nowadays, but people don't know how to get into it. So want to be, I want to let them to have an insight of meditation and maybe let them, motivate them to be to become their daily journey. Yes. And we will try only 5 minutes first, but I set it for 10 minutes. Maybe some of us or the attendees want to have more on that. So yes, and this next one is just an introduction for SUP yoga, because people are very familiar with yoga, but I think SUP yoga is quite interesting activity for relaxing, and I don't think there are many people who know about it. So I want to introduce them this new relaxing method. Yes. And the next one is Sentango. It's a Japanese painting, and The purpose of Santango is clear your mind when you're drawing, and it's easy to learn because there are no perfect patterns in Santango, so you can just follow your mind and follow your flow to draw this. And I will also teach some Japanese cultures at the same time, so I believe that Santango is can help people to increase their creativity too. And the last part of my workshop is we will discuss about the action we can take in university. We take about 20 minutes, and we will discuss as a group what action can the university need to take to support the student and those struggles at school. And we'll use some design thinking skills and teaching skills to them, and also provide resource to support the conversation. And I think we will also discuss about how to have a better promotion of mental health support, and also discuss what the action managers will take as a result of a session. The incentive will be some free yoga and SUP yoga class and logo tour guide for relaxing journey. Like maybe go to if they are interested, we can go to some. We have organized some hiking for local tour and relaxation. Yes, also some free drinks. And the budget is the incentive is 200 Hong Kong dollar for drinks and rent the SUP for 100 per person. We look at calculate it when we have the exact amount of the attendees. Yes, this is the end of my project, and I pass to my teammate.
Okay, thank you, Him. The focus of my strategic priority would be the gender equality. So let me walk you guys through some figures that reflect the condition that Hong Kong face right now regarding gender equality. So first of all, Hong Kong has a very low numbers of women in the workforce. Despite the fact that the women dominates most of the university graduates population. And why would Hong Kong have such a low participation rate among women is that there are deeply ingrained gender biases, stereotypes, and the lack of working life balance. And women mostly have a very huge responsibility to care for children. Next. So only 55% of women in Hong Kong are in the workforce, and women are missing in the boardroom. Only 14% of directors on the Hang Seng Index listed companies are women, and women are remain underrepresented in government. Only 50.9% of Hong Kong Legislative Council members are female, and I think this is a very dispute is a dispute, and it shall be tackled very fast, which is that women earn less than men, even though women and men they pay the same effort in their work. And Hong Kong has an average gender pay gap of 22%, and only around 30% of female hold the management roles in different organizations. And they also they also have a caring responsibilities. Around 30% of women drop out of the workforce due to the caring responsibilities, and more than half of the employers mentioned that they would not hire women with children. And according to international standard, the maternity leave should be 14 weeks. However, in Hong Kong right now, organization they just give women 10 they just give like new mother 10 weeks of maternity leave. But however, the government right now is still working on the enactment of this law. Yeah. So my problem statement is that among the Lingnan community, we still have different barriers and stereotypes, but particularly I would like to focus on gender equality. And the goals is to engage all Lingnanians and to foster a sense of belonging and interconnectedness, to create inclusion, empathy, acceptance, diversity, and vibrance, and to really break stereotypes and misconceptions about gender issues, and also to encourage students to be brave, to express themselves, to really communicate and engage in the community, and to get rid of prejudice and biases. So it's time for us to change. So for me personally, I think that conversation is a very important method or a way to achieve the goals. So we need to first understand different perspectives that Lingnanians have on gender issues. So I propose to have some group discussion or coffee chat, or maybe just a food night to really to convene people from different groups and to really communicate their perspective, their ideas. How would you think about the gender issues? And besides that, we can also have qualitative interviews and survey to kind of understand the underlying reasons, or what are the biases, what are the stereotypes Lingnanians might have. And to raise awareness among Lingnanians would be the next step. So we can have a free expression mirror wall, and so to enable students to express their perspective, their ideas on gender-related issues, and also to have some forum theater or performances regarding gender issues, so that people can view the gender issues not in a very serious or not in a very typical way. I would say that to form the gender issue into a more artistic way would be a change for us. For example, we also can have like a women in STEM or women in tech talk. So we need to have a close collaboration with the LUEOC, which is the Lingnan Equal Opportunities Committee. And even though they have equal opportunities awareness campaign week, but we still need to collect feedback from those attendees or collect feedback from students so that we can make possible changes to make it better. Yeah, that's my part. So let's pass the stage to Fan.
I'm sorry. So for my part, the thing that I would really want to change in my campus is that I would want a project that could bridge the gap between non-locals, internationals, and also local students. Because coming from the backgrounds of the non-local students, sometimes I feel like we sort of being left behind. You know, I know there's a lot of projects, like there's a lot of programs for non-local, but we're still feeling like we're a bit left aside. For example, the student body thing, but we are jealous the student bodies always for exchange student, and non-local students doesn't get the privilege to be part of the student body. Like we don't have a local student body when we come here. So yeah, we always joke about that fact. So basically, I want to have this project where it's inclusive, not only between like local international students, but also student of different personality, outgoing, but like also choir students, or maybe like student of different races, different colors. South Asians and Filipinos are, we're all equal. So that's the idea. But I also noticed that there's other project that has been done in our campus to try to address this problem and has succeeded in one way, but still we need to do more about this. For example, there's International Day. It's very well established. That is the advantage of this program. It's very well established, and because of that, it's easier to get more participants and more people to join this program. But the disadvantage is that it's only happening one day, and it's mostly just exhibitions of food and craft. So it's sort of like kind of a surface level, just go around, but not really digging deep into the problem. So it does not address the problem in a deeper level. Student body. Well, the adventures. It's fun activity. You got to foster cultural understanding and a cultural awareness. But the part of that is that how about non-local students? How about us non-local students who don't understand? Um, this program is just for like exchange students. So how about us? Because also there's a lot of non-local students in the campus. Um, and the other thing is that the local student who joined this program is already very good at English. They're probably very outgoing. They're probably a bit westernized too. They like hanging out with international students already. So it doesn't really address the people who's not maybe outgoing and who maybe don't not very good at English, and don't really want to socialize with international students. So and this program is just like hanging out. So you don't have a forum where you talk kind of seriously about that, and also it might be better to to maybe cooperate on a meaningful project together, uh, with different perspective from different cultures instead of just hanging out and looking around things. So what is my change strategy? We when we do this thing, we made a lot of assumptions about what locals and non-locals students like. Because of, me and Bliss is non-locals and him and Samantha is local. So, and but it's not inclusive of the general views of how non-local and local student think. So we would like to test our assumptions and find out about the root of the problem, like why is it the case that non-local students hang out in a different group, exchange students like hang out in a different group, and local students they just hang out together in their tiny circle instead of the whole the whole group of everyone's hanging out like and exchanging together. Because I think Hong Kong is a very international city, but the campus is not actually that international. So why is it the case? Like maybe because the activities are not engaging enough, students are hesitate to communicate in English, and there's different lifestyle between the local and international students. And these cultural barriers may be really deep. Like the lifestyle is obviously really true because like international students, they like to drinking, they like drinking a lot, and they have a kind of a more free individualistic lifestyle or something. So the cultural barriers is definitely really deep, and we need to find out first what is the reason why. Step two is that I've been looking around some other school and also companies, and they have this thing called Inclusion Week. And well, I don't see this in the campus yet. There's other things that try to address the problem, but not overtly, trying to say that we should be more inclusive. And I hope that this Inclusion Week would celebrate our diverse community. It would create an environment of involvement, respect, and connections. It will include a series of talk, dialogue, workshop that implemented with the purpose of cultural inclusiveness. We seek for different perspectives. So we're gonna overtly saying that this is gonna the point is to be inclusive, not just going around looking at different culture like you are the outsider, but blending in and actually doing together. And I have listed out some activity that can be done in this inclusion week thing. Some can be done virtually in case the virus postponed the program. For example, we have a talk show about the diversity through food cultures, architectures. We can also have an art workshop, free expression to celebrate the individualities and uniqueness, and we can have discussions. We can try to engage students in the discussions like indigenous and traditional art from each region, but something more fun like how to say hellos in Vietnamese, Chinese, or teach each other a bit of Russian, Korean, or something like that. Also sport activity, run and walk, because I think sport is a great cultural connector, just like food and art and dancing are. And also like cultural cook-off, for example, you can use your skill to cook your food of your favorites in your countries in a time-limited competitions. So that's basically the end of our project's presentations. Just to remind you, our project is a very initial part of the long journey, and our project might not look complete right now, but we are trying all our best to make this happen. And we would so love to hear your feedback in a way that can help us improve our project so that we can make changes in our community. So please do give us a lot of feedback.
All right, just a quick review for all the audience here. The UIF for this round, they have been started their online workshop with Stanford D School since the beginning of September. So until now, they have been developing a few projects like what they presented just now. So if you have any question or any suggestion you want to provide to them, please feel free. And I believe that they could make changes on the plan and to see how they can adopt the whole I&E concept into Lingnan University and create a better ecosystem. All right, anyone want to provide any feedback? Oh, and guys, good job for all the you prepare all the presentation and stuff like that. So congratulations. And yep, Ty have a question, I think.
Yeah, I have a question for Bliss regarding gender equality in Ningnan, and it's just kind of interesting as well, because like for the population of students in Ningnan, it's actually a lot more female than males. I'm going to ask like an interesting twist. I want to ask, please, how you're gonna promote male students' participations in many of the student bodies as well. So, because we have more girls than boys in terms of the sheer numbers. So, for activities that we see, we also see a lot more girls. So, I just want to see whether you have like a sort of like a plan to encourage male students to join some of the activities as well.
Do you mean activities, random activities in general, or activities particularly to tackle the gender issues?
Yeah, for example, using the population of UIF, so we see like I don't know the in the initial interviews how many male students are there, but then in terms of numbers, because you make a lot of examples of say the percentage of workforce, female workforce in the general populations in Hong Kong is relatively low. But then specifically for Ningnan, there's a lot of, like say in UIF, there's one male students here. So I'm wondering, would there be any activities or campaign to promote the participation rate of male students in, for example, UIF? It's curious. I like to be the devil advocate to ask questions. Yeah.
I would say that to really engage male students is, I would say, because I know that male students, they have like a perspective that at Lingnan would be say that most of the attendees would be female and they kind of be shy or they need more friends to really engage in. So I think that we can have like group activities that can have cater more students. You know, so it's not that the quantity is not that small. So we can we also can do some promotion and to really reach out to male students specifically. And in halls, you know, we can have some poster or promotion like to reach out to them and to at the male floors of the hostel and to really talk about them. Oh, and we also need to ask why, you know, like why would you reluctant to join? Is it because you're shy, you know? And we need to persuade like, oh, it's nothing, you know, like it's good to it's better to really blend well, to mingle with female students. Yes, I think that's my point.
Yeah, thank you.
And I also expect Bliss in this play an important role into promoting like women in tech or anything that can empower women in the university at Lingnan, especially outshine the resources we have, and to outshine your energy and your power to most people, because other universities do not have so many women, right? So many girls, right? So how can you make good use of this platform to outshine yourself and make yourself like famous around compared to other university? Yeah. Okay, and the next.
Do you want to have any questions or like feedback?
Dr. Cole?
Maybe I ask one. I would like to ask about the inclusion program by FEM, I think, right?
Yes.
Yeah, and you mentioned that like Hong Kong is an international city, but the school or the university itself seems not very international or intercultural. Did you say that? Yeah, I get.
Yes.
Yeah,
Yes.
yeah. So you think it is not it's about the composition, or it's about the relationship, or like the intercultural thing is not enough? You think it's which one?
Yep. Okay. So I think on the surface it seemed like international because there's a lot of international students in our school. There's us our English our language of medium is English, and there's also a lot of project like in OSL no in what is that exchange program, but still I think that it is very common observations in the campus that non-local would hang out with non-local students, exchange students would hang out with exchange students, and also local would hang out with local students, and it's very common. And I think that local students they can speak English, but they sometimes shy to speak it, or even like for example, like in a group projects in my class, even if I'm there, they would just speak in Cantonese, and sometimes someone would translate to me in English, but everyone would speak in Cantonese because it's faster. I don't know why, but they still can speak English, but they refuse to do so, which made me feel a bit like left out too. So, and that's very common situations in our campus, and that's what I mean. If that does that answer your question?
Yes. Now, I just want to say it's the same like everywhere. Like when we went to other countries, or when we study in other countries, like during exchange, and yeah, like Hong Kong people, they like to group together, or other nationalities they like to group together because they find they're similar maybe. And I work in an intercultural uh organization which like promote intercultural exchange and something like that. One suggestion is that maybe if you organize some activities, you can like have quota for every culture or nationality, like that. Like maybe 4 people from one nationality, to make them how to say, the numbers of different cultures is similar, and then you let them mix together. So this will not, if, because if you have one nationality, the numbers is exceptionally high, then maybe sometimes it will be like that. This is my experience, like organize international projects in different countries. Yeah.
Can I restate your point? Because
Mm.
okay, so you said that if I do like an international project, then I should group like people from this different culture together. Is that what you mean?
I mean the numbers and quotas of each culture or nationality. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yes, I got
So
it.
like maybe
Yeah.
4 from, for example, India, or 4 from the US,
Yeah.
something like that. Like,
Yes.
mm.
Yes, clear.
Dr. Cole, you want to do the closing?
No, I think I just want to join the team to thank you for preparing the presentation. And yeah, we find it very interesting. And the whole point is the UIF is not just about planning. I guess you guys know.
Dr. Cole 大聲啲啲，聽唔係好聽到。
right. So
Yeah.
yeah. So I guess the next step is just us. We will be totally ready to support your program. And so feel free to look for us, and we will always be happy to work with you.
Okay, thank you so much. And yep, congratulations again, UIF, for finishing the whole online program. And I hope you guys really enjoy yourself. And we really want to see the projects going on in the campus, but due to the pandemic, I think most of you can't come back. Like Blaze, you're still stuck in Malaysia, and Pam, you're still stuck in Vietnam. The only people that in Hong Kong is him and also Samantha. So how long are you guys still going to be on the online course? 2 more weeks? 1 more weeks. Okay. So we will arrange a graduation for you guys when Stanford sends us all the materials. So I'll keep you guys posted. All right. So thank you so much. Do you guys have anything want to let us know?
I think we're doing okay right now. So thank you so much for attending this meeting
Awesome.
today too. Thank you, everyone.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Bye.
Bye-bye.
You have a nice day.
Have a nice
Same
day.
to you.
Bye-bye.
Bye bye.